Hi, and a very warm welcome to the weekend edition of Wellbeing Wisdom. And there's no doubt about it that human perception is a little bit of a mystery. Doesn't it surprise you that we all take our perception for granted? The way we see the world is just the way we expect it to be. Our perception gives us a predictable, reliable way of reacting to everything that we encounter, including our own thoughts and feelings. And yet, modern research is prompting us to consider our perception in a completely fresh new light. Ancient philosophers have reminded us for thousands of years that our perception is not quite what we think it is. We see the world, we interact with it, we accept it completely as being real, that it has objective reality. And yet, neuroscience is pointing us in the counterintuitive direction that what we are doing effectively is projecting our thoughts and feelings out onto the blank canvas of the universe. I know, it sounds completely crazy, but the conclusion is that each of us is living within a discrete cell, a little room, sparsely furnished, in which we have a mirror. And in that mirror, we see ourselves reflected. And that reflection is effectively the entire universe. Perhaps from an evolutionary perspective, this is a way for us to interpret reality, a way for us to be able to survive. But the evidence suggests that we are not creating or seeing an objective reality. Far from it. We are projecting with our minds a way of understanding the universe which is not always supported by any sense of objective reality. The problem is, of course, the more you try to control the mind, to control those outcomes, the more remote you become from your ability to see things directly. For thousands of years, the advice has remained consistent in terms of advising us to try and calm the mind, to introduce a condition of stillness. This inner silence is where reality may be perceived. But when the mind is no longer projecting, there is no ego. You and I, as individuals, no longer exist. We become a natural and integral part of the entire universe. We are the universe. And yet our perception would have us see ourselves as discrete, unique individuals, separate from everything else. And that perhaps is why we're not very successful at understanding reality directly. Your senses tell you that what you're perceiving is absolutely real, that it is the objective world which we've grown to understand and to work with since the day we were born. A deeper examination peels away those layers of perception and gives us access to something more direct. What's the value of that? Well, it helps us to understand that if the world is not quite the way that we really understand it to be, then it opens up fantastic opportunities for a different perspective, for a happier, healthier, more interesting interaction, not just with ourselves, with everything we perceive. Because if the universe is really nothing more than what you see in that mirror, if you're seeing yourself reflected, then when you work to fill your heart with a sense of inner peace and calm and joy, even happiness and love, that's what you see in the mirror. That's how you will experience life. And that's a very different way from how we understand things through social media, with all the gloom and doom and despondency that fills up every moment of the news. It's an invitation for us to begin to participate in a brighter way of understanding reality right here and right now. You don't have to wait until you've achieved enlightenment or illumination to be able to appreciate life on this much more beautiful, powerful level. The secret is to learn to practice a little bit of mindfulness so that you, the observer, can begin to understand that you are no longer obliged to project your view of reality onto the world, that there is a deeper way of understanding reality that transcends all the temporary, transient perceptions that we accept as reality. I know it's quite a deep subject to touch on for the weekend. I hope it hasn't disturbed your inner peace too much, but it's an inquiry which is open to all of us, something which we can pursue and develop, and it can help us to achieve a level of perception which makes life a lot more interesting. I can assure you it does have a direct impact on your health and well-being, and for that alone, it's worth the journey. It's worth the examination. Let me know what you think. I always love to get feedback from you. In the meantime, on this cold but beautiful sunny day, allow me to wish you a wonderful weekend.